Hey everyone, it's a very hot summer afternoon, about 3. I did not do a video past 3 days. I was down in, well, I think past 2 days, but I was down in North Carolina visiting my youngest daughter. I have 6 children, so 5 are mostly in their 30s. The oldest will be 38, and the fifth one will turn 30 in December. But then this one is 22, the one that I visited. So I just want to talk about something regarding cancer and the journey. I like to call it a journey, the journey of cancer, because of journeys that involve valleys and mountains and difficult terrain and looking for trail markers. What do I do next? Where do I go next? And I think it is that kind of a journey that we really have to set our minds and our hearts and our souls to. It's so life impacting and life changing. It can be very much. I mean, definitely once you've gone through a cancer journey, whatever journey it is, it's definitely perspective changing, right? And so most of you know my story. 21 year. I'm going into my 22nd year. In fact, I'm almost into it because my first major surgery was in 2005 at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, July 27, 2005. So I'm just about to hit that year um, again. You know, I never thought that I'd see so many of these years. But here I am. And one thing that I just want to talk about right now is out of the Serenity Prayer, there's this line that says, living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace. So for a moment, think about what it means to accept hardship as a pathway to peace. And certainly the cancer journey is hardship. I mean, over 50 surgeries. I just got my phone call to schedule my new one. A lot of these are procedures I'm 4 times a year to change the nephroureter, check for cancer, but I have to go under and I have to go into the operating room because my surgeon just really looks at my case very closely. It could be done in intervention radiology, but he likes to look at if there's any cancer going on, and he likes to be the one to change it out. So anyway, just the hardship that it's been, absolutely. I mean, this is now I'm at a point right now where I've been through 7 years of immunotherapy treatments every 3 weeks, but they did change that to 6 weeks when COVID hit, so that I wasn't in the hospital as much. They would give me a double dose every 6 weeks. I don't know if anyone experienced that, but just all the stuff that goes along, all the tests, scans, constantly, right? I was in the hospital last week or week and a half ago because I thought I had a UTI, and I did, but I was in overnight because my UTI last year turned septic. And I used to be an attorney. I'm not having practiced in 9 years. I at one point also ended a 36-year long marriage, and I was living in like an 800 square foot apartment with, I had a bed, a couch, a chair. I didn't even have a kitchen table, and I had the bare minimums. And it was a hardship. I had owned a 5,000 square foot home with 6 children, 7 bedrooms, and the whole works, right? Interesting how a perspective changes, though, right? When you go through a life changing event like cancer, being told twice to go home and call hospice. Interesting how that really changes your perspective about things, about life, about people. But this concept of acceptance, and that acceptance is a word to really think about. It's windy and my chimes are chiming away. And obviously that concept, living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, that life is temporary. It's fragile. The Bible says that life is like a vapor, like it's here and gone tomorrow. And so that concept that what we have right now in this moment is precious, even if we're struggling, even if we're suffering, but every moment is a precious time, and how many of us think like that? I didn't for years upon years upon years. And then I was told to go home and pass, and I actually lived. And I'm like, wow, this every day is like a gift now. But acceptance. And I just will ask the question, how do you struggle with acceptance? Cancer's been that thing for me that has taken so much. Can I accept the fact that I don't have control over it, that it has changed my life, and it has changed who I am? Acceptance for me involves processing my loss, grieving that loss, dealing with perhaps some anger over what's happened, and sadness. But for me, at this point, it's, after all these losses, it's coming to a point where, can I accept these losses and move with them and process them and move through the wall in peace? And I think I can. My higher power is really given me peace, but I think it's because I believe there's a higher destiny, that God has a special plan and a purpose in all of it. And I think He has. And that's comforting. That's comforting. That's comforting and helps me to accept hardship as a pathway to peace. Okay, I'm at peace when I truly accept what's going on in my life. And I've seen it. I've seen it in end of life journeys. Amazingly, I've seen people just sink back and accept the fact that the doctor said we are done. So just chew on that. I'm chewing on that. Thanks. Bye.